Have you ever felt threatened by another person? If so, you've probably felt the need to defend yourself. I've conducted vast amounts of research on this subject, and self-defense laws are a necessity for your right to live. Now, first we must understand what self-defense laws are. Self-defense laws are laws put in place for us to combat or defend ourselves against somebody who is trying to do harm to us. Now, according to Guns Save These Americans from Assault and Robbery in July, it says that firearms were used in far more cases in self-defense rather than something like abusive of power. Some people believe that self-defense laws are just an excuse for people to go out and do whatever they want. But there's been vast amounts of instances you see on the news, and I've even seen some instances in my hometown where there's been robberies at gas stations, and it's only been resolved and there weren't any deaths, fortunately, because people were able to defend. And the reasoning for that, there's a lot of people out there that have properly trained themselves, whether it be in like a fist fight or disarming somebody with a lethal weapon like a knife or a gun. Now, the most common place you'll see self-defense laws put into place are home invasions like robberies and stuff like that. Now, according to effects of laws expanding civilian rights to use deadly force in self-defense on violence and crime, a systematic review, since 2005, the U.S. has adopted stand your ground laws, which expands people's right to self-defense as long as you have tried to retreat first. Now, this law is extremely important because without it, we'd have just chaos. People, if somebody's invading your home, your first thought and what you should do is hide and call the police. Now, without this law, this would be fine unless, it comes to the point where they get into your room, they open the door, and then now what do? Without the law, you have to think of the consequences. You have to think, if I attack this person and possibly hurt or kill them, am I going to be held accountable? Am I going to go to jail because I didn't want to die myself? This is why these laws are important and put into place. Now, if somebody does enter your home and you just go straight for them, that's not the smartest thing to do. You need to try and get away and get help first. That's why these laws are very controversial, because in each instance, the scenario is different and people treat the law however they want. Now, something important we need to learn how to do is teach our population the right way to defend ourselves. Too many people don't know how to use a firearm correctly, or how to disarm somebody, or even how to combat somebody. I chose this picture, for instance, because it shows a child being taught the right way to fire a weapon and being taught gun safety. Now, according to understanding the role values play and should play in self-defense law, self-defense is arguably the first civil right, which is true. Our right to live is the most important, and unfortunately, we have to defend that against other people. But in the case of defending ourselves, it's very controversial because not everybody is brought up like others are in how to actually defend yourself. So when you see these instances where people abuse their power, it's because they weren't taught the right way. And it's unfortunate that that happens. So we need to be able to train our youth how to properly assess a situation, decide whether or not there's a viable option of retreat. Because if the self-defense laws are abused and continually abused, they will be reworked, and your right to live will continue to dwindle. Now, there are plenty of classes out there for people to take. Disarming, combating, fighting back, and even gun safety courses. I advise everybody at least at some point take one of these classes because it's important for people to know. Self-defense laws are a necessity in our society for us to defend our right to live.